most heavily, which are closed, open, long vowel silent E, and vowel teams. The first type of syllable that we learned in class was the closed syllable. The way that you can identify a closed syllable is you first start by finding the vowel, and then you scoop to the right to notice if there are any consonants following it. A closed syllable is one that has one vowel followed by at least one consonant. When it is a closed syllable, such as in this case, the vowel makes a short sound, I. So altogether, this would say swim, swim. Looking at the word below it, I again start by finding my vowel, and then I scoop to the right, and I notice I have at least one consonant. Remember, a closed syllable is one that has one vowel followed by at least one consonant. Because it's a closed syllable, it's going to make the short A sound, b, a, th. When you're signaling to your student that it's a closed syllable, you can use a closed fist as a reminder to them that it's going to make that short vowel sound. A different type of syllable is an open syllable. An open syllable starts by finding the vowel and then scooping to the right again, but in an open syllable there are no consonants, so I have one vowel followed by nothing. When it is an open syllable, the vowel is going to say its name, it's going to be a long vowel sound, so this would be b, e. The same for this word. I start by finding my vowel, I look to the right of it, and I notice there are no consonants. A single vowel followed by no consonants means that it's an open syllable with a long vowel sound. Sh, e. When coaching your student, you can use an open palm to remind them that it's going to have the long vowel sound. Sometimes in a word, in a syllable, you're going to have more than one vowel. So I start by identifying my vowels, A, E. I notice that there is a single consonant between them. It is a vowel, consonant, silent E. For this, it's going to make the A say its name as a long vowel sound, and then the E is going to be silent. So this word is p-o-ain. Notice no sound for the E. I do the same thing for the word below. I find my vowels. When I found my vowels, I notice that there's a single consonant in between, and the last vowel is an E. Because of that, it follows the long vowel silent E pattern. That makes the A have a long vowel sound. O, A, T. In signaling your student, you can use a split finger to show that there's a split between your two vowels. This will remind them that the first vowel is going to have a long vowel sound and the E is going to be silent. Vowel teams is probably the most tricky. Whenever you have two vowels together, you have a vowel team, but there are many rules about how vowel teams should sound. For right now, we're most concerned about being able to identify that it is a vowel teams, and we are still working on learning in class all the different sounds that come from vowel teams. So this one, an OA, typically says the long O sound, O, T. Now on this one, AI typically has the long A sound, W, A, S, T. You can signal your student that it is a vowel team by putting two fingers together. Notice there's no separation between your two vowels, which is why you have the two fingers together. Now probably the most tricky part comes when you have multi-syllabic words, because you first have to figure out where to divide the word up and then decode each syllable. So I start just like before by finding the vowels. In this word I have an I and an E. I notice that even though it is an I, consonants E, because there are two consonants in between, I'm going to treat this as two separate syllables. The rule tends to be that when you have a vowel followed by several consonants and then another vowel, that you're going to split those consonants up. And when there are just two consonants, you typically are going to split them right down the middle. Now what I have is two separate consonants that I can, or two separate syllables that I can analyze in isolation. If I have one vowel followed by at least one consonant, that would make this a closed syllable. Remember, a closed syllable has the short I sound, so this is going to say k, it. I do the same thing for the next one. I analyze my vowel followed by a consonant. A single vowel followed by at least one consonant, again, is a closed syllable. That's going to be the short E sound, t, n. When I put it together, kitten, I know my total word, kitten. I do the same thing for the next word. I start by finding my vowels. I have an E, I have an A, I have an E. Now I notice they have an A, consonant, E. This makes it that long vowel silent E because there's just a single consonant followed by an E. That means I'm not going to split this up. This is one type of a syllable pattern. What I am going to split is between the E and the A. I notice that I have a C, a K, and an L, so not just two letters that I can split up nicely. What I have to do is find out where is the best place to break them. CK is a digraph. It makes one single sound even though it's two letters. So whenever you have a digraph, you don't want to split those up. I'm not going to split the C and K up. Where I am going to split it is between the CK and the L. Now I need to analyze each syllable on its own. I have an E followed by at least one consonant. A single vowel with at least one consonant would make this a closed syllable. That's going to make the E have the short sound, n, e, k. Now over here is different though. We already figured out that this is a long vowel, silent E, which was this pattern here. This is going to say l, ace. When I put it together, necklace, necklace. On our next word, I start by finding my vowels, so I have an O here and an O here. I know that I need to split it between those two vowels, but I only have one letter. The rule typically says that when you're splitting and you only have one letter, that you're going to make the syllable split before that letter. So now I need to analyze each syllable. I have an O, followed by no other syllables or no other consonants in this syllable. Now, we don't say this B is part of this O anymore. Remember, we broke it up. That's why it's just an O followed by nothing. Because it's just a vowel all by itself, that would make it an open syllable. When it's an open syllable, the O is going to say its long name, O, row. Now I look at the second syllable. I treat it like its own word part. I have one vowel followed by at least one consonant, which is going to make it closed. When it's closed, the O is going to have the short O sound, ah. So this is going to say b-ot. When I put it together, it says ro-bot. Now, for every rule, it always seems like there's at least one or two words that's going to not follow those rules. This is an example of that. When I start to look at my vowels, I have an E here and an E here. We talked before that when you have two vowels with two letters in between, that you would split it in the middle. But this is one of those weird ones. An SH is a digraph which doesn't get split. It makes one sound, sh. So if that makes one sound, this rule told us that we would split it after the vowel before the consonant sound. So we should split it here according to the rule. That would make it say free, shen. But if you read that in your story, that wouldn't make sense. Sometimes you just need to coach your child to find those vowels and then experiment a little bit. In this case, the best syllable break is right here. When I analyze this word, one vowel followed by at least one syllable, that would make this, or at least one consonant, that would make this a closed syllable. E followed by at least one consonant would make it a closed syllable, short sound. Sh. Now here, don't get confused with an open syllable. Notice you have one vowel followed by at least one consonant. That would make this also closed. N. When you put it all together, you would have fresh N. Now these are just 4 syllable types. There are many other syllable types, but hopefully this will get you a start in working with your child and being able to decode multisyllabic words. Don't ever hesitate to contact your teacher if you have any questions. Thanks, and have a good night.